Welcome back to another episode on the See Through It podcast. I am your host, Brian Sales. And before we get into it, just want to say thank you for tuning in. As you see there on my Twitter feed, if you are on Twitter, please follow me at SeeThroughIt1. Also working on that YouTube page, so make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube page. I will put up a link for the YouTube page on my personal Facebook page and the podcast page. So, I want to say thank you to Nicole and Aubrey, to the two women that I talked to at the Walk for Autism. If you have not checked that video out, please go and check that video out and listen to the things that they had to go through in their everyday struggle dealing with autism with their kids. So make sure you check those videos out. Check out previous episodes. Run those numbers up. But tonight, we're talking senseless gun violence that's been taking over in South Bend. That's been pretty big. A lot of shootings, a lot of murders, a lot of just senseless gun violence. But before we get into that, my timeline. I've been noticing the past week or two, my timeline has been filled with Tekashi 6ix9ine, that individual, the rapper from New York, who's I guess he's involved in a case, and he's told on people. Well, the word that everyone is using is snitching, that he has snitched on a bunch of people for their involvement in a gang. I don't know. I don't understand how we've came to this snitching. When have we, or why should I say, why are we degrading the snitcher or the person that's snitching, but we have no problem with the person or the group of people that are committing the crime? We have no quarrel with the people that are still on the streets selling drugs. We have no quarrel with the people that are on the streets causing mayhem in the neighborhoods, in the community. We have no problem with none of those. But we have a problem with the person that's telling on those individuals that he would have done these things with. It's crazy how we are mad at him or making memes to make fun of him for telling on people that kidnapped him, jumped him, and beat him up, and was probably going to take his life. But we have no problem with the people that are doing illegal crimes, committing illegal crimes on the streets. There's nothing to say. There's no memes about those people. There's no memes about get off our streets or any of that. But we'll sit there and point the finger at a guy that's sitting in the courtroom. I'm not saying he should get a pass. But I'm saying, why? How is it that the snitching is bad, but the criminals are still on the streets doing whatever they want to do? How does that make sense? The standard, our standards are low. We got to want better than that. Do you want criminals running around in your neighborhood? Do you want criminals running around, breaking into your house, selling your kids drugs, stealing your car, threatening your life? Do you want those people on your streets, in your neighborhood? Because you don't want to snitch because of that word. Now, this might make some people mad or make them feel some type of way, but that's stupid. I have a family. If I see something happen and the police come to me or the lawyer or whoever, and I saw it, and I have a family, I'm going to do everything within my power to protect my family. Snitch or whatever you want to call it. That person's not going to be near my house or near my family. That makes no sense to me, how we are making memes and pointing fingers at him like it's okay. We should want the criminals on the streets. We should We should be happy that the criminals are still on the streets. Wake up, people. That makes no sense. That's stupid. It's stupid. How would you feel if your daughter was murdered? You know people saw who did it. The word around town is going around that everyone know who did it, but no one's saying nothing. Or you saw he murdered your wife. Or women, someone murdered your husband, your son. But no one doesn't want to say anything because the word snitching. Just think about that, dude. Go into the bathroom. Go into a closet. Cut the noise off, and just think about that. People know that someone committed a crime, took one of your loved ones' family members' life away, and no one wants to say nothing because they don't want to be labeled as a rat. How does that make sense? What part of that makes sense? It doesn't. I don't care how you twist it, bend it, try to make it make sense in your mind. You cannot say that out loud and feel confident about what you're saying. You can't make sense of that. The nonsense needs to stop. It needs to stop. We got to change the way we think. And then we're just going to roll right into the gun violence thing. These kids are killing each other over nothing. Drugs, girl, clout, street cred. I'm going to say it again. Drugs, clout, street cred, and girls. That's worth dying over? 13 years old? That's worth dying over. At first, when I was coming up with this episode to do, I was like, it has to be, it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. But then I had to think about that. I talked to this great mind of this woman. If you know me, you know who I'm talking about. Her mind is so... But anyway, I was talking to her, and she told me that not everything rests on the parents. Not everything rests on the parents. Sometimes it has to fall on that child. That 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old young man. It has to fall on them. It has to fall on them. They know right from wrong. Yes, people are growing up in bad neighborhoods and they have it tough. They have a bad hand dealt. But you wake up every morning with the decision to do the right thing or the wrong thing. You wake up every morning to decide, do I want to be stuck in this position or do I want better? You wake up every morning with a decision. Should I take that gun to school? Should I be selling drugs today? You have those choices. We all come to that fork in the road where we have to decide which path are we going. So it can't always be on the parents. These kids have to start holding themselves accountable. And if you're a parent of said child that you see that are going down that path, it's our job. It's our responsibility to let that child know, hey, it's a dangerous road you're going down. Do you really want to go down that path? It's a dangerous road you're going down. Life expectancy is not very high continuing down that path. When we drive down the road, we see signs. We see the speed limit sign. We might see a caution sign. We might see a yielding sign. We'll see a stop sign or some lights. And if you don't pay attention to any of those signs and you get to that intersection, you're going to crash. All the signs are there. If you're a parent and you seeing this, it's your responsibility to make sure that they know. And then after you've done what you're supposed to do, because that's your job to let them know, then it's on that child. But you can't be out there defending their actions. If you know your child is out there causing mayhem, the cops are coming to you like, hey, what's going on? Or teachers or whatever, and you sitting there defending, that's ridiculous. Yes, my mama. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Where's the compassion? These kids growing up in the same neighborhoods, growing up on the same streets, the same blocks, going to the same schools. They see each other. There's no compassion, no respect for one another. Like what has that person done to you that makes you want to take their life? What has that person done? I'm trying to come up with what could be a reason for a child to take another child's life. I can't come up with none. I can't come up with not one. Drugs? Oh, the drug deal went bad. Why do you have drugs in the first place? Is that the path you want to go down? Where has the compassion gone? The respect, not just the simple respect. The simple respect. Like I think it was like 2 years ago. I made it. I said, this is what I'm gonna do. When I see a young brother in the mall or on the streets or anywhere, if I see another young black male walking, I'm gonna say hi. So what's up? How you doing? We can't even approach each other no more. We can't say, what's up? How you doing? Good morning. And look at you like you said something in Japanese, like I'm speaking Martian or something. Why? I can't speak to you? I can't say hi? Why do we treat each other like that? Common decency, respect. What happened to it? These kids are out here destroying their lives before they even get to live their lives. Over what? Over what, guys? What is going on? We don't value each other. Why don't we value each other? Why don't we see worth in each other? Why can't I walk down the street, down Lincoln Way, and be like, what's up, dude? Without them looking at me like I'm crazy, like I'm not supposed to talk to them, like I'm not supposed to be on this street. What happened? Like, what is the cause of that? What is the cause? We got to start valuing each other. Yes, everyone wants to point out that the cops are shooting or killing all our black men, black boys. That is happening. That they've been murdered or killed. We're in outrage about that. But where's the outrage on the black on black? But it's funny when you mention that towards a group, people get all defensive, like that ain't the point. Well, it is kind of the point. Because if we don't value ourselves, if we don't value one another, how are we going to expect a group outside of us to value us? If we don't value each other, how do we expect to get other people to value us? We can always point the finger at other people. Well, they killing us too. They don't like us. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That may be the case. That may be the case. But do you like your next door neighbor? Do you like that dude across the street that live on a different block from you? Do you like him? Do you respect him enough? Again, where's the value? We can't expect people outside the community to care about our cries for injustice if we don't take care of each other, if we don't value each other, if we don't respect each other. It makes no sense. They're just going to look at us like, okay, what's your next complaint? And it's crazy because if you mention this inside the community, they all get all defensive. No, no, no. It doesn't matter what black on black is doing. Black on white. We divided on that. We shouldn't be divided on our kids killing each other. That needs to stop. No parent should have to bury their 13-year-old boy, 13-year-old daughter. No one should be burying their kids. It should be the other way around. We got to find value in one another. We got to find value in one another. I thought about it even further. I've been thinking about this episode for a while. I thought about it even further. And I was thinking maybe it's a mental thing. It's the mentality. It's the things that we're taking in. It's the outside noise. I'm gonna just say it. It's the music. It's the music. The music. I'm not saying that the music affects everyone the same way, but a young mind that's being molded, that doesn't understand the consequences of their actions. Back up on that one, because you have to understand. If you out there doing what you're doing, you understand that it's life or death. You understand that this is not going to be forever the same way. Even though it might feel like, man, we've been doing this for a while. We've been selling drugs. We've been getting money. We've been doing this for a while. Like it ain't going to never end. It's going to end. It's up to you how it ends. It's going to end. You can bow out gracefully, or it's going to be taken from you. But I'm going to have to say it's the music. These young minds can't handle it. They see these rappers on TV with all the chains and all the money, all the girls, living this fantastic life, living it up, and they want the same thing. I want the same thing. I want to be famous. I want the money. I want the cars. I want the girls. I want the same thing. And they'll do anything to get to that. We got to change the way we think. If you can't handle that music, you shouldn't be listening to it. I know when I was listening to it, like I would just constantly just be taking it in. I would be listening to it constantly. And I felt myself getting violent and violent. Violent and violent. You transform in that. You become what you're listening to. You can sit there and say, nah, that ain't how it is. No, that's how it is. TV, music, all this stuff is influential. If I was to lock you in a room and put you in front of a TV and let you just watch that, you will become whatever I've had on the TV. Our minds can be molded into anything. I was in boot camp for the Navy. I was Navy and Army, but I would say Navy. I had already had the structure and the discipline, but when I got to Navy, it was much more structure and discipline. And that molded me to much more discipline and structure. And I was only there for 3 months. And imagine listening to that music when you're 5 and now you're a teenager in high school and you feel yourself. Can't no one tell me nothing. I don't even listen to my own parents. Who is this dude talking to me? Who is this teacher? I'm not in here to learn. I'm in here to pass the time. They said I got to come here, so I'm here. What is she talking about? We got to watch what we let our kids around. Their minds can be molded so easily. Some not so easily. Some can decipher what's entertainment and what's fake. What's entertainment and what's real life. Some can decipher what's right and wrong. Some can't. I remember there was a story back in the day where Grand Theft Auto, people were out there running people over, stealing cars or whatever, or driving, and they felt like they was in GTA in real life. That's how influential things are. Excuse me. It has to stop. Watch what you allow your child to pay attention to or listen to. Because their minds are being molded. Their minds are being molded. I see so many pictures on my timeline where it's little kids throwing up the middle finger or throwing up some kind of gang sign. Like, why? Can we let that little kid just be a little kid? Does he have to be flicking people off? Does he have to be throwing up a gang sign? Does he? What's the reason for it? Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Why not do it? It's fun. Everyone else is doing it. Why not? That same excuse we use later on. Everyone else is doing it. Yeah, go ahead. We got to change the way we think. Got to change the way we think. On top of that, we got to learn how to control our emotions. These kids don't know how to control their emotions. Matter of fact, people don't know how to control their emotions. You can't even have a discussion on Facebook without someone getting out of pocket. Without someone cussing you out for no reason. Because you thought you were just having a discussion about something. You can't even disagree without someone going insane, threatening your life. And if grown people are acting like that, what are the kids acting like? Because they seeing this. Oh, that's my mama. She acting crazy. She going up to the school cussing whoever out. Fighting in the grocery store. Why I got to keep my emotions in check? If someone come at me all wrong, I'm going off. How does that make sense? We got to check our emotions. You can't just be lashing out. What are you, a child? It's a childlike mentality. If you grown, be grown. Walk away from that. You got so much to lose. That's too much to lose. You have a good job. Let's say you got a good job. And just because someone says something to you in the line, or they mumble something underneath their breath or something like that, you going to fight them? Now you're going to jail. Now you ain't got your job. Now you're on a downward spiral because of one bad decision, because you couldn't check your emotions and let that go off your shoulder. You couldn't do that. How does that make sense? If Martin Luther King, during the civil rights, if all them people would have reacted the way we reacted, the way we react now, we would still be doing the same thing. We would probably still be fighting for our rights. We would probably be still fighting for our rights. All because we don't know how to check our emotions. We can't keep our emotions in check. And if we can't keep our emotions in check, the children are seeing that. They emulate what they see at home. They emulate what they see in the streets. So then they go to school. Some dude talking recklessly, and now he wants to fight him. Now he goes home, he finds a gun, takes it to school, pops him. Or he sees him on a Friday night or the weekend, walking past his house or something like that, and he shoots him. Over what? I just need someone to justify the killing of another child. I don't understand. Yeah, I put this up here so people can see it. Glorification of the street life. How many, this glorification of street life. I just want someone to tell me how many lives have street life saved. How much money has street life put in someone's pocket that they can give to their kids? How many jobs have street life created? Street cred, how much has it done for the community? I've seen a lot of moms crying. I've seen a lot of dads, a lot of cousins, sisters, brothers, friends. I've seen a lot of that. But we want to praise the wrong thing. We want to look at the wrong thing. What used to be wrong is now right. It's sad. It's a sad. What used to be wrong is now right. If we don't grab hold of these kids and tell them, just at least put it in their ear that they know there's a better way. There's a different path. You don't have to do this. You don't have to respond every time someone says something. Today we're in a society where we have to respond every time someone says something. Why? For what? Because you know if you respond, it's going to be a fight. You know they're going to say something back. So what are you responding for? You don't have to have the last word. For what? Your last words can be your last breath. We need people to stop sugarcoating what's happening. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. No, it's not all right. Little Johnny just died over some weed. That's not okay. His parents, they just lost their child. That's not okay. And we're numb to it. We're numb to it. We don't even feel it anymore. We're used to it. It's like a normal thing. It's like breathing now. We just breathe. Oh, okay. Well, everyone go get the t-shirts made, get them airbrushed, show them out, and move on. Now we on to the next day. That's what the cycle is. And I don't even mean that to be like funny. It's just, that is the cycle. A person dies in the streets. Everyone go get their t-shirts made. There's some tears shed. There's a little candlelight visual, and then that's it. There's nothing done. There's no one holding no one accountable. No one don't want to tell on who did what. When we know there's a house up the street that has constant crack and weed and all that stuff coming in and out of the house. Little kids are playing over there, but no one wants to say nothing. We can see guns coming out in and out of that house. No one wants to say nothing. And then boom, next week, one of your family members dead. And no one wants to say nothing. I'm tired. I'm tired of my skin color looking like we just violent. Everywhere I go, I get that look. Like I'm about to do some type of criminal something. I'm about to do something with crime. I'm sick of that. Do we not want better? Do we not want better? Do we not want to be represented better? I know I do. I want to be represented better. I want to be represented better. We got to start holding each other accountable. Back in the day when I was growing up, teachers wasn't scared to call the parents. Principal wasn't scared to say anything. Matter of fact, your neighbors, if they knew your parents and they knew what their expectations of you was, they won't gonna let you get away with nothing. They will say something. Now people in your neighborhood can't even say something to that kid, in fear of that the parent is gonna come and fight them. Don't be talking to my child like that. Mind your own business. I understand. I mean, some people, they do get out of hand when they talking to kids. Some people are disrespectful. I get that. I get that. But if someone is coming to you in the most respectful, honest way, and you still shut them down, you are the problem. You are the problem. Hold on, I'm reading the comment 1 minute. Yeah, I've heard that too. People from Chicago coming in here. Yeah, that's part of it too. But also, these kids are just making bad decisions constantly, and no one's checking them. No one's pulling them aside. And like I said earlier, it's still up to that child to make the right decision. But if they see bad examples constantly, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. And I'm just throwing out a plan, some kind of plan of action, a call to action. If we can change the way we act, and then maybe they'll see, you know what? Let me do better. I don't have to do this. Oh, old boy was over there talking nonsense, but I'm gonna ignore it because it's not worth my time. I have something else I could be doing. Is it worth fighting someone and then dying over a girl, over some drugs? Is it worth it? We got to change the way we think. I'm tired of seeing kids. Every time I see it on WNDU or my Facebook timeline, like it hurts. And it just hurts. Like, dang, another 16-year-old dead. For what? All the kids that be dying in Chicago. Over what? That gets no play on the news. They report it and that's it. We're numb to it. Just done. But let it be a cop shooting a black boy. Or we all up in the outrage. Like I said, I understand that. I get that. I get that. But we cannot be, it can't be one-sided. We have to be like, okay, we see that, but we have issues that we got to take care of in our own community. Once we start policing our own communities, then they'll have to take your cries and your worries serious. But they keep saying that we don't have no value. We don't see value in one another. We don't even respect one another. Why would they lend an ear to hear or even fake listen about anything we're talking about? Charity starts at home and then it goes abroad. That's what my mom told me. It's the same thing inside the community. It starts in the community and then you can spread it out. You can go out further. Once you fix, what's the thing? It's an old song. Sweep around your own house before you try to sweep around theirs. Sweep around your own neighborhood. Get things in order in your own neighborhood. And once that becomes in order, and they see that neighborhood is together, there's a union, the neighborhood's not divided on anything. Yes, there are going to be some disagreements, but come to a decision on everything and show union. And then you go to the city council, to the city officials with your cries and your worries, your anger about certain things. Then you'll see a change. The civil rights movement. Yes, there was some division, but it wasn't bigger than the union. It wasn't bigger than that. That's how they brought about change, doing it the right way, taking care of the communities, and then looking for change. We got to change the way our kids view each other. We got to change how we view one another. We got to see value in one another. We have to show more compassion for one another. If we don't, we're done. Nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever change. Yes, you can have your politicians and your city councilmen and all that. They don't care. If you don't care, if your community doesn't care, they're not going to care. They're going to say whatever they need to say to get you to put them in office. And that's even if they need you to put them in office. Let's do better. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. So that's the episode for tonight. That's just how I was feeling about the recent gun violence. I hope that the young people, this gets shared and the young people see this episode and they just pause, tap the brake a little bit and think about their decisions in life, the choices they're making, and what path is taking them down. Yes, we all can't see what's at the end of that road. We can't. I agree. We can't see what's at the end of that road. But we do know if we're doing evil, only evil is going to come of it. We do know that. We can't tell the future, but we know if we're wrong, bad things are going to happen. So, before we get off here, I just want to reiterate, thank you for tuning in. If you have not went to the Facebook page, the Facebook See Through It podcast page, please go there, show your support, and let me get it up for you. Go there, like the page, share it, comment, join the conversation. If you feel a certain way about certain things, let me know. If you have a topic that you want to hear me talk about, if you have any ideas, let me know. Next time I'll have my email address up here. But it's for right now, it's SeeThroughItPodcast@gmail.com if you want to email me there. Or you can just simply message the Facebook page and I will respond. But let me see. There we go. Go there, share, like the page. I need those likes, those follows. So please run those numbers up. On the YouTube page, like I said, I have that up. This episode will be live on the YouTube page as soon as I hit 100. I think they said 100 subscribers. I will be able to create my own URL name. So right now I got a bunch of letters and a bunch of numbers. I don't think no one wants to type all that out. But as soon as the URL, I'm allowed to have a URL, I will post that on the Facebook page. So that's that. The See Through It podcast, the See Through It on Twitter. See Through It 1 is my address for if you want to find me on Twitter and chat it up on there. I'm there. So again, thank you for tuning in to this episode. And remember, don't be blinded. Don't be blinded by the media. Continue to see through it. See what's really going on. See what's really happening. See Through It. That's the name of the podcast. I am your host, Brian Sells. I will talk to you guys later. Peace and good night.